Welcome back to the Aspiring Scholars podcast. How are we doing, Kellen?
We are doing so good, Tyler. We are so back.
We are so back. It has been so long. The last time we did one of these was what, January?
I think it was the first week of last semester.
Yeah, because we did the New Year's our guesses of what was going to happen in the year.
Yep.
Do you know how yours are doing?
I think the only one of mine that's been fulfilled so far is that I would crash out at midterms. And last semester, I definitely crashed out at midterms.
No, yeah.
And I think I said I'd be addicted to coffee, too, and I definitely was addicted to coffee.
I think all of mine lost because the Lions lost, their first game. They did not win the Super Bowl.
True.
Nobody's gotten engaged in our friend group, and, yeah. But
yeah.
It's been good.
Year's not over yet, though, either. We could see
That's
more
true.
of those come.
We could see more of them. I think one of yours was we have to take somebody to the ER again.
I think so, yeah.
That could still happen.
That could happen. We don't know.
But who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're back at school now. I've been here about close to 2-ish weeks. Kellen's been here a little less than 1 week.
Yep.
But how's it been so far?
It's been great. Yeah, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Tyler are back living in Oakwood again for our final year here.
Yeah.
And actually, we were back on this very same floor that we got here in, 2 FOBs, baby. Second floor of Oakwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we came as freshmen. Now we're the leadership of that floor. It's kind of crazy.
It's a legacy thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that we started in the second floor, we end in the second floor.
Yep.
And I think so far the year's started off really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, some of the workload's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We've had to read a lot so far.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of typical. But I think there's a certain, I don't know. I feel like there's a certain vibe this year that's different than the last 2 years, and it's really, really cool to see. I feel like the freshman class coming in this year is, they're so on fire for the Lord, and it's really, really amazing to see.
Definitely. I totally agree. They've been, every night in Shiloh and stuff, they'll be doing worship, until late in the night, and they're, I don't know, sharing their testimonies and stuff, and it's, it is just really encouraging to see this freshman class really, they're dialed in, and it's really awesome.
Absolutely. It's really, really cool. And I feel like it's cool because it's I feel like when I came in my freshman year, it's kind of just been a development. And I feel like there's a lot of things that are kind of switching around in Bethel. Not that things were super, super wrong, but that, I feel like there's a lot of people that are switching their mindsets and starting to glorify God. And I think it started with years prior when leaders then were starting to pave a way, and then now we're able to continue to pave that road.
Yeah.
And I think that has been probably one of the most encouraging things that have happened this year so far.
Definitely, yeah. I have been super encouraged by these. Just even these freshmen have encouraged me in my faith, with how on fire they are and how much they're willing to always be worshiping and always be praying and always be, building their lives around Jesus at the center. It's really has been definitely encouraging.
Yeah. It definitely calls me to a space of if these people are just coming in and they're already doing this and making changes, what's my excuse? So it's kind of just okay, I need to get on my game. I need to start kind of thinking about these things and not just kind of going about life kind of lazy sometimes.
For sure, yeah.
Well, it's time for our devotional.
Yes, sir.
Kellen, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so as we were thinking of what to do for this devotional, we always try to do a devo or something that has eternal significance on this podcast, right? And as I was thinking over my summer and all the different stuff that I learned and all the different ways that I feel like God has kind of spoken to me, one thing kind of came to my mind, and it's this idea of having joy in every circumstance. So today we're going to look at Philippians 4. We're going to start in verse 11. This is from the NIV. It says, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. And I think one thing that God has just been teaching me this summer is that, so I think that by nature, I'm kind of a person who wants to please people, right? And I like to be with my friends and with this like community of people who, I don't know, who just feel like my people, right? So when I went home for the summer, it was kind of rough, as it always is, right? I'm like, man, I wish I was back at school with my friends. And I'm sure, lots of us can relate to that, right? We like being with our people who kind of, we feel like they give us value, right? Like being part of this group gives our life more meaning and more value, whatever. And I kind of felt like I was missing that. And as I went home from school last year, we actually got to come back to Bethel and do a trip to Alaska, which I'm sure we'll talk about later in this episode. But then on this trip, I got to connect with more, like you guys, my friends again, and kind of expand that to more Bethel students that went with us. And then after that, after going back home, I started an internship, which I'm sure we'll also talk about more on this episode. And I got kind of connected with people at St. Mark Missionary Church and just different people at Bremen and stuff. And I kept getting connected to these different groups, right? And for a second, that would give me like a high kind of like, man, like now I'm in a new group of people. Now I have new friends. Now I have new whatever. And all of those relationships are great, right? I'm so thankful for this summer where I've got to branch out and meet so many new people and I've got to do so many new things. But what I found, like halfway through the summer, I was like, man, I just feel like I'm going from like high to low to high to low. And I feel like I'm like waiting to get back to school so I can see my friends and then everything will be good again. Or I'm waiting to feel like validation from these groups of people. Or I'm waiting to feel like I have meaning because these people tell me that I have meaning, right? And what I realize is that it's like I'm searching for something that only Jesus can give me, right? Which is where I kind of came to this idea of joy in every circumstance. Because it's like being with my friends, it makes me really happy. And I really do think that my friends are a gift from God, like guaranteed. But I think that all of us, right, are searching after this true joy that can only come from Jesus. And I think that so often we try to find like replacements for that joy in the people we surround ourselves with and, different things. And I think specifically with the people we surround ourselves with, that one's kind of like nefarious because it seems good because people are a gift from God, right? And relationships are a gift. And knowing people better is a gift. But when we put that on a pedestal and we make it like what defines us and what gives us meaning, I think for me at least, God's really been showing me that that's not the correct ordering of things, right? That I need to set my eyes on Him first and that I need to rely on Him to give me that joy that I'm like craving and seeking after.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just kind of helps, I guess, paint relationships and friendships in a whole new light when you're not like relying on them to give you joy,
Yeah. I think I found kind of a similar thing where it was like maybe not this idea of like acceptance with other people, but it was this idea of like that I'm not doing enough. And so like my joy would be dependent on how hard I was working, or my joy was dependent on how much fruit I saw other students or other people around me like bearing. So like say for Alaska, like seeing people be transformed and talking and having hard conversations and getting to know people, like that was so fulfilling. It was amazing. But then the moment I got back home and it was like, okay, now what do I do? It's like, oh, so I really don't feel like this joy because I don't feel like I'm like super spiritual, or I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Like I'm not seeing I'm not seeing the results of all the work I'm doing. And so therefore my joy has been dependent on results. And so I think as I read this scripture about being content in anything, I just have this idea that it's like, I need to be content whether I'm seeing results or not, whether I'm seeing students' lives changed or not, or whether I'm getting things done or whatever it may be, that like my relationship with the Lord, if I'm being intentional with that and I'm fully diving into it as much as I can and like trying to seek the Lord out, like that should be enough. And that the other things are an outpouring of what God has already given me. And so as we kind of had this conversation about what we wanted to talk about in Devos and what were some things that we learned this summer, as we're talking about being content, we also talked about 2 Corinthians 12:9. And I think we might have talked about this on another episode of the podcast, but we just wanted to bring it back up. It says, starting in verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. It's just this idea that like when we get in these ruts of like up and down and we feel like life is like you're riding the high of life and then you got to ride the low. Like that's not really what life is all about. It's like it's almost like this paradoxical thing where it's like when we feel like we're at the lowest, that's when God's power and his love can shine all the more through us. Like when life throws its biggest obstacles and the hardest things happen in our lives, the truth of the matter is that that's where the most growth happens. That's where the most reliance happens, because the more you trust the Lord, the more you're going to grow in him. And so you, like when you think about a time when you're kind of fully, kind of everything's going well, or like life's going well, and you feel like your job's going well, and school's going well, and friendships are going well. When all those things are going well, it's really easy to rely on yourself and to not realize your need for God. In both circumstances, you need God all the same. You need him just as much in either situation, but it just feels more like you can see your need for him more when you're going through hardship. And I think that's what I really want to focus on, is that don't like put yourself down because you feel like you have weakness, but know that God works through it. Like this idea of like that I can't do enough, or that I'm kind of defined by the friends I'm around, or these hype experiences. You got to look behind the curtain in this idea that like when I look at myself and I look at what God's doing in my life, I shouldn't be looking at, oh, I served this person, I prophesied to this person, I prayed for this person, but like God, he gave me something to give to this person. Like God is using me for this reason and not what I'm actually doing. And so when you recognize your own weakness, that without God, none of the things you are doing could be done, I think that's when you can recognize and find contentment in everything you're doing. Like Philippians 4 said.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, that's really good. I think, yeah, just if you're listening to this and you feel like either one of those things are true about you, right? Like if you feel like you're searching for like a joy that you can't find because you're searching for it in the wrong places, or if you're trying like really hard to find your joy and satisfaction and working hard enough for like some goal, right? I just encourage you to lean into Jesus, right? Set your eyes on him. Give him back the throne of your heart, right? And put him first. And just trust that he's good, right? He's there with you. He's there for you. And that just like the Bible promises, right? The fruit of the Spirit, it's love, it's joy, it's peace. It's all those things that you're seeking, that you're trying to find from other places, that I'm trying to find in other places, is right there for us. And Jesus wants to give that to us if we'll turn to him and follow after him in that way.
Yeah.
So let's go before the Father in prayer. God, we thank you so much for who you are. We thank you for your goodness and for your love for us. God, we thank you. We thank you that you are everything that we're looking for, God, even if we don't always realize it, and if we are looking in other places, and if we're trying to find meaning and purpose and joy in those other places. God, I thank you that you're always faithful and that your arms are open for us to run back to you. And we pray that that we would do that. God, we pray that you would help us to keep our eyes fixed on you and to live our lives just following after you, God. I pray that you'd grow that desire in us more and more each day. We just thank you for who you are. We thank you for just blessing us with this opportunity to speak to these beautiful listeners. God, we love you. Amen.
Amen. So,
Yeah.
Now what we kind of wanted to do for this episode of the podcast, we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our summers. We're going to talk about 3 highlights, and then another topic. We just kind of wanted to nerd out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Have a little conversation.
Yep.
So
Wait, I would like to say first.
Yeah.
Tyler, is there about summers? It's not on the script.
Yeah.
If you could summarize your entire summer experience in like one word, what do you think that word would be?
I would say fulfilling. I think so. The summer went very, very fast, and it was very busy. It was like I had track, and then I went home for like 2 days, and then I had Alaska, and then I went home, my brother's bachelor party,
Mm-hmm.
then I internship. But it was very fast. But I think, like, I really needed the experience because I think there were so many things in the ministry, all that I was doing in Alaska in my internship, that it's like, okay, like, this is encouraging. Like, I can see where God could use me in this. I see where my gifts are being used. And so the idea of, like, I think going into the summer, I was kind of discouraged a little bit, and I was like, I'm not doing good enough. I'm not good enough for this. Maybe this isn't what God's calling me into. But I think being able to go into a place like Alaska and where I was at in my internship and just have people that really care about me and, like, really appreciated what I was doing, I think that really filled me up and prepared me to dive into the school year trusting the Lord and going where the Lord wants me to be. What about you?
That's real good. I would say the word that came to my mind initially was like stretching, because I think that this summer for me has been, like you said, fulfilling in a lot of ways. I think I've got to see God do some really cool stuff in and around me this summer. But I think that, like, I've had the opportunity to do so many, like, new different things that I haven't ever really got to do before. And like we said, with this Alaska trip that we keep alluding to, and we'll talk about in a second, and this internship that I've done and all this different kind of stuff, it's like I was kind of stretched into do a lot of uncomfortable things that I wasn't really used to. But I think that through that, I did feel like really, I guess, fulfilled. Again, not to harken back to our devotional, not that is like actually what is fulfilling.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see how fruit can come from my life, even though I'm like a broken vessel, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that God's been showing me. I've been going to some of the worship nights, and one of the songs said, like, make me a vessel. Like, and I think that's what it harkens back to, in this idea that we want God to fill us and use us in the ways that He wants us to use. And that's exactly what a vessel does. It contains something.
Yeah.
And we want to contain the Lord and contain His Spirit.
Yeah, for sure.
And be poured out from there. Okay, so now our top 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm guessing our top 2 will probably be the exact same, but we obviously have different perspectives. So number 1.
Yeah, number 1 summer thing for me. I don't know if these are in order. I don't want to, like, rank, but like, got to be up there is this trip that we took to Alaska. Is that your number 1 as well?
Yeah, I put that.
Yeah.
I didn't really, like, order them, like, from best, but it was just like 3 things.
Right.
But yeah, so do you want to start a little bit about what we did?
Alaska. We went to Alaska. So what that kind of looked like was, it's called like a task force trip. So it was just a group of Bethel students. There was 16 of us, I think, and then 2 profs. So Professor...
Kind of 3.
Oh, true, 3, but 2. So Professor Eby and Professor Kateski from the R&P department, shout out if you're listening, you guys are great. They went up to Alaska with us, and then when we were up there, she's not really a professor. Her name is Dr. Sharon Ayabe. She came up with us and stayed up there with us a couple days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do you want to kind of explain what we were doing up there?
So what we did, so it was kind of like 3 weeks. It was a little less than 3 weeks. So we got there on, I want to say, like a Wednesday or Thursday, and then we did training. And so we trained for a few days with our team, getting team building, talking about what was going to happen, how we were going to do things, organizing stuff.
Yep.
And
this is back at Bethel.
Yeah, this was at Bethel.
We spent like a week ahead of time here just at Bethel. Well, like the whole campus was empty except us. It was just kind of us here.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was really fun. And then I want to say it was Tuesday, really, really early in the morning. What was it, like 3 or 4?
It was 3:30, I think.
Yeah, 3:30. We get to this room, and then we go to the Chicago airport, fly from Chicago to Anchorage, Alaska, from Anchorage, Alaska to Kotzebue, Alaska.
Yep.
And then we were there. We stayed over the night there, took a charter plane to Noatak, and then we were in Noatak 12 days, 1 day back.
Yep.
And so basically what we did was we went there, and basically it was very relational. So a lot of it was like driven by relationships.
Definitely.
And so for 4 or 5 of the days we did a VBS for all the kids from preschool.
Yeah.
Preschool all the way up to high school. So like whoever wanted to come. And then pretty much every night we did a youth like night.
Yep.
And so we invited the middle school and high schoolers to come in, and we did like testimonies, worship, games, and stuff like that. Do you want to go a little bit more deeper into everything?
Yeah. So we had VBS for a week, and that was kind of like, I guess, not like the main reason we were there, but that was like kind of like the centerpiece of why we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tyler was saying, we had other youth nights and stuff. Towards the end, we had like an open gym kind of night where we'd have like all the kids could come and just like hang out in the gym with us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that, like, it was a lot of stuff like that in the evenings and specific times that was structured. But a lot of the time actually we were up there, it was just like unstructured kind of time, just being with just people in the village.
Yeah.
Like really anyone. Like lots of time with kids, giving them piggyback rides and stuff. And, just hanging out and building relationships with the kids there and with some adults too. And we got some really cool experiences with that as well. But really, I guess kind of the highlight was the like relationality of like how much time we really did get to spend with these people. Living life with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that was surprising to me, but was like incredible, was just how much I got to know other people on this campus, like on Bethel's campus, because it was like coming in, I knew pretty much everybody, knew their names and stuff, but I didn't really know them. And the way our team kind of like bonded together and we all grew together was like, it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
It was so cool. And yeah, I mean, the experience was very stretching in that there was a lot of hard times and there's a lot of good times. And I think one of the most fulfilling things was every night we'd do a debriefing. So we'd have whatever a group, 2 people from the team would do a Devo, and then after that, the profs would lead us in something about kind of like talking about the things that we were experiencing. And I don't know, that was very fulfilling. And being able to just fully rely on the Lord every day and like, what's God telling you today? Like really pressing into listening to God, that was amazing.
Yeah. I think definitely too, we needed, it got really, really rough, especially towards the end, just with the lack of sleep and just with how exhausted we all were. Because if you didn't know, Alaska, when we went up there, it was light, like 23, 24 hours a day. So it was like we got really poor sleep because we were always out doing stuff, and we'd come in really late and we'd stay up late. And we'd have to wake up, and every morning we wake up, we feel tired and stuff. So it really was like a really good exercise in leaning on the Lord for strength. I think it was a lot more draining in that way than I thought it would be. Like I went into it like, we'll be fine, right? Like, we're staying up late every night with all these kids running around. It was like, by the end I was like, man, this is like a marathon, and I thought it was a sprint, and I was going full speed at the start, and now I'm like so tired. But yeah, it was definitely cool to see how like God gave us strength to keep going and keep moving. I would say that some of the last days we were there, even when we were the most tired and most exhausted, were some of the most like cool days to see how God was working, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the coolest things is now hindsight, because we were able to get some of the students' numbers, some of the kids' numbers, and they've contacted us like a ton.
Yep.
And that's been really cool.
Definitely, yeah. Shout out if any of you from No Attack are listening to this podcast, we love you guys.
We love you.
Yep.
Okay, that's a little bit about that. If you guys ever want to talk about more, you guys can contact us. We'll talk about it more.
Yeah, for sure.
But then number 2, I'm guessing we have the same thing. What do you have?
Well, see, I feel like number 2.
Did you kind of switch it?
I don't really know, because I feel like 2, I would say generally would be the internship I did.
Yeah.
But like 3 was kind of like something I did on the internship. So it's like, is that
Yeah.
really count? I don't know.
2,
we'll just say internship. Yeah.
That's what I said. So what about the internship?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
What did I learn? I learned a lot of things at this internship, because so like I said earlier, it was at St. Mark Missionary Church here in Mishawaka, which is the church that I go to when I'm up here at school. So it was kind of like, I knew some people here, and actually the youth pastor there, shout out Scotty Miller, he was my youth pastor back at Bremen back in the day, so I had that kind of connection. But I think that it was just, St. Mark is really different from my church. It's a lot bigger. There's a lot more programs going on, a lot more staff members working on it, a lot more moving parts. So it was good to get like a different kind of perspective into how ministry works, I think, like in a bigger scale than what I'm used to. So that was good. And I think that I was given some responsibilities this summer that I was like initially uncomfortable with, and things I would not have really chosen to do. But I think that God was able to like grow me to be more comfortable in some ways, and even in ways I'm still maybe not comfortable,
Yeah.
that I can see that he's got me through it.
Yeah.
So like, obviously I had to do some speaking. So I got to speak in front of bigger amounts of people than I was used to because there's more people at St. Mark. And especially towards the end of the summer, I did this thing. It's called Church on the Beach, where all the students, we all go to like the beach. It's like middle and high school, everybody's there, and they do like a message every year, and I got to do that message. And it was like initially really scary. It was kind of scary, and I was kind of shaking the whole time because it was a whole bunch of people I was speaking in front of, and it made me nervous. But like I see looking back that, you know, God got me through it. And I think too, I don't know. I feel like another thing that this whole summer's kind of taught me, between Alaska, between this internship, between all sorts of stuff, is it's like, I think I had this idea of ministry that it's like, it's a numbers game kind of, where it's kind of like, it's like this equation, right? Where it's like you put in time and effort into a student, and then you like that equals into their life being changed, and it's predictable and it's repeatable and you can do it, right? And it's kind of just like a assembly line, kind of like one size fits all way to see change in people's lives. And I think that what this summer has kind of taught me is it's like ministry is like 90%, if not more, just showing up for students, right? Just being there for them, going to their sports games, going to like whatever, just loving on students and doing events with them and hanging out with them and talking to them before service, talking to them after service. And it's not like it's not, I don't know. I think that sometimes, or at least I had this mindset going into the summer that like ministry is like, I'm kind of the hero. I'm the one that brings in Jesus' salvation and it spreads to all these like students, and then they all their lives get changed. But really it's just like student ministry especially, it's just such an opportunity to build relationships with students that maybe you don't even see the fruit of. Like that's another thing I kind of learned, is that seeing the fruit of ministry is such a blessing. Like it's such an, like I don't deserve to see how God is working in these people, because it's not me who's doing it, right? It's him through me who's doing it. But it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so much more just showing up for students, just being there for them, spending time with them, hanging out with them. And then maybe if you're lucky, you'll have an opportunity because of that relationship you built to speak into their life. And I think that, I don't know, that's one thing I've definitely learned from this summer.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's kind of hard in the summer. I feel like it's, because I feel like a lot of the meat and potatoes of youth ministry is during the school year. And like obviously most students that do sports aren't going to be doing sports in the summer. So going and seeing their stuff, but it's still an incredible thing. And so mine was also the internship, but we kind of had inverse things. You went from a small church to a big church. I went from a big church to a small church.
Right.
And so I started off with my home church. And so I kind of knew the vibe. I knew the people. I knew some of the other stuff. And so jumping right in there was pretty easy, right? But now I went to a smaller church, and I didn't know like anybody besides like one family. And I get there, and it's a little rough at the start. Like everybody's super welcoming, but like, I mean, I'm a little uncomfortable because I don't know everybody, don't know a ton of people. And a weekend, we had this trip called CIY, which was like a Christian youth convention conference thing. And I got to go with some of the high schoolers. And I feel like that was what really kickstarted the summer, because I got to know like all the teens like really quick.
Yeah.
And then that just set up the summer for like on a great trajectory. And from there, it was incredible. Like I think one of the true benefits of having like a smaller church is just like how you know everybody. And it just feels so much like a family.
Yep.
Because like you're like walking through the halls and you like at the very least you recognize everybody. And so I think that was incredible, and they were so inviting and welcoming, and just truly enjoyed the summer so much. Shout out to all the students at Lowell Church of Christ.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Joey, because I know he listens to this sometimes. Whoever else, maybe Emma
Let's
or
go,
whoever
Joey.
else is listening. Joey said he wanted to be on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
He wanted me to share some stories. So we were at the CIY trip, and whatever, they have the different showers, right? And he was like, we should jam out in the shower. So we all go in there, or me, Alex, and him, and he turns on Pink Pony Club.
Oh boy.
And we were vibing. And then a guy came in, he was like, anybody want pizza? So we ate a piece of pizza in the shower,
Heck yeah.
and it was wet. Like he was sitting in the
Oh, yeah.
water. Yeah, it was kind of gross.
Shower pizza.
Very gross.
I've eaten a shower pizza before as well. But.
And then we did this thing called Ice Cream from Heaven, where we took ice cream and chucked it, and they had to catch it in their cup. And the stuff started to melt, and so he took it and he started rubbing it on himself.
Dang, that's crazy.
Classic Joey.
Classic Joey.
But yeah, the internship was amazing.
Yeah.
And then my third, this one will be different. Mine was my brother's wedding. It was super fun. Like, so the whole summer, I was at home for like 5 days. And 3 of those days was for my brother's wedding. And that was super fun. I got to see people, have a good time, and obviously see my brother get married and have fun and party, and not party like crazy, but like, dance on a dance floor. But yeah.
Yeah.
What's your third?
Well, my third is part of internship, so it kind of counts as 2 as well. But it's this trip we went on. We called it Mystery Trip. And let me tell you something about Mystery Trip. So it's this trip that St. Mark does every summer, usually just for the high school, but we tried it for the middle school as well, where like nobody knows, the students don't know where you're going, right? And it was up to us interns to like plan all the trip, like plan all where we're going and all the stops and stuff. So we ended up going to Wisconsin Dells, like with the water park up there, one of the water parks up there, and then like another inflatable water park kind of place. We went to a couple different stops like that on the way. And I think what I liked about it is, like you were saying about your conference as well, was like that was kind of the tipping point where I really started to like lock in and make real connections with the high schoolers. I think it just really stands out to me because it was so like, it's just such a fun trip, and like obviously the atmosphere is fun, and it was really when I started feeling like I like, okay, like I'm connecting with these students. I belong here. This is like, yeah, I think it was really like the turning point of summer. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was kind of late in the summer, so I spent a lot of the beginning of the summer like, what am I doing here? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I felt like I was doing programs and stuff well, but then I felt like I was lacking that kind of connection. Like, something was missing, and then Mystery Trip is kind of where it tipped, and it was like, oh, yeah, I love St. Mark student ministry. Heck yeah.
Yeah. My question for you, what are like the logistics of that trip? Do you just kind of just make it and you don't tell the parents what you're doing?
So basically we planned it for a couple months ahead of time. Like we planned it for months. And so we knew the destination, we knew all the stuff, we had it all planned out. And then like the week or 2 before, we had a meeting with just the parents where we like kind of tell them, I don't think we told them everywhere specifically we're going, but like where like we were actually going, because you're not going to want to pay to send your student on a trip if they're definitely not going to like it, or like if you don't know where they're going, you're not going to authorize that. So we had to like let them know where we're going. So the parents did know. And actually the funny thing is, so we had obviously like promotional material and stuff with the dates on it for this trip. All the promo material had the dates wrong. It was a day shorter than we were actually planning on going. So everybody thought it was like 2 days long instead of 3. So when we got to this parent meeting, everyone's like, what do you mean it goes till Saturday too? We have plans Saturday. So we had to pivot last second and change the whole trip to be like a day shorter, because all the promo material was like off. It was kind of funny. But yeah, so it's like, the mystery is only really for the students. And we try to like do clues and like hide like we made promo videos on Instagram, and we like try to hide little Easter eggs of like where we're going in it. And so if you look real close, you can maybe get an idea of where we're going and stuff. It's like a fun idea, but it's kind of like.
Did you make a packing list?
A packing list?
Because I feel like if you made a packing list and just put like a bunch of random stuff on it, like make sure you bring like rock climbing boots or like.
Yeah,
that sounds like such a fun concept though.
It is. It worked way better for the high school just by the number of people that signed up, because middle school we only had a couple, so we kind of scrapped it and just did like a day trip. But yeah, it was definitely a really great experience overall.
Yeah. So then lastly for this episode of the podcast, we kind of just wanted to nerd out a little bit. So we were able to see 2 movies together this summer, and then also a third one that we want to talk about.
Oh yeah. Do
you want to talk about the first one?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much right after we got back from Alaska, we had to go see Mission Impossible #8, which is, what's it called? Final Reckoning. Yeah. So Mission Impossible, I grinded all the Mission Impossible movies like...
Spring Break?
Was it spring? It must have been Spring Break.
Or Easter break, maybe.
Or one of the breaks, because I came back in the school year, I was like, oh, Mission Impossible is so good. So then on the way to and from Alaska, I got Tyler on the grind too, and he started grinding out like a whole bunch of Mission Impossible movies on the flights there and back.
Yeah.
And okay, first off, Mission Impossible. What's your go-to? What is the best one? Of
I
the
feel
8?
like my favorite. So in the lead up for 8, I was not able to watch 5 or 6 because there was nowhere to watch them, and so I only rewatched 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I watched 7, 8. And so of those ones, my favorite is probably 3. I feel like 3 is just like, I feel like the stakes are the highest, like the characters are the funnest, and like the villain is easily the coolest.
Yeah, he's sweet. I would say probably the same thing. I think it's between 3 and 4. I think 4 has like the coolest and like most mind-blowing like set pieces and stunts and stuff. Like it's just crazy. It was like one of the only movies where I've been watching it and been like, no shot, he just did that. It was like I was actually so in the action, it was crazy. But I agree, 3 probably has the best like plot. I think like the villain is really good and the
like
you
I
said, stakes are
remember
high.
really liking Fallout, but I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, I think that this is how I would describe it. 1, the first one is a classic. Like it's a great movie. 2, it's not as good. It kind of falls off a bit. 3 is like peak. Then it peaks at 4 again, so it's kind of plateaus. 5 is like I guess a little bit of a downgrade, but it's still good. 6 is about the same. 7 was kind of rough.
Yeah, 7
like
was
probably
bad.
a pretty decent fall off. And then 8 was probably back up to like 5 and 6 level.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like 7's easily the worst.
Yeah.
And then it was, I think Loki. I feel like 2's overhated.
That's
I feel like it's just cheesy, and I kind of like that. It's just like they're fighting on motorcycles, and I'm like, this is just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, so we went to the theater to see Mission Impossible 8. What do you think? What do you think about the movie in general?
I think it was good. I think it was a return to form, and I feel like 7 was super crowded and like nothing happened,
Yeah.
and it was just like over convoluted. And I feel like 8 was a lot better. I think it would have been hard to do 8 without the setup of 7, but I think they could have done it better. But I think 8 was really good.
Yeah.
I think it was a good way to send off some of the characters. I think
Wait. We should do like a spoiler warning. We might or probably will spoil Mission Impossible 8 if you haven't seen it. If you're listening this far, you probably have already seen it or
you don't care.
you don't care.
Also, we're going to spoil Superman and Fantastic Four
Yep.
too. But yeah, so I did not like how the end of Mission Impossible 8, how Tom Cruise didn't die.
I agree. I think he should have died as well.
I think he should have easily died.
I think that would have made it so much more powerful. Like he stops I forget whatever he was trying to do. He was trying to like
Defeat the AI.
it was an AI, but wasn't it like nuclear? There was like a nuclear strike that was going to happen,
yeah.
and he was like shutting it off.
The nuclear fallout.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like in an airplane that was crashing or something. It's been a second since I've seen this. I only watched it once. But he like he pushes the button or whatever, he saves the day, and then he like parachutes to safety and lives. And I think that it would have been so much better if he like was able to stop it, but then he died, like he had to sacrifice himself for it. I think that would have been the perfect way to send him off.
Now it just really scares me because you know how franchises hate to end franchise. They hate it.
Yep.
So I would not be surprised if this is the final reckoning, but
Yeah.
hey, here's one 5 years down the road where
The extra final reckoning.
turns out Tom Cruise is still fighting.
Yeah.
Like it's like
If
I
they
don't
made
know.
if they made like a 9th one, that would be tragic.
I've heard that they might go like the dumb route that they've been doing in new ones where it's like, oh, he's the mentor figure.
Yeah. I feel like they've been trying to do that for a while though. They were trying to make him the mentor in like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Like he had that whole arc for a while. But
Yeah, but I think it was a good culmination of the whole franchise, and I
I
liked
agree.
how it tied back to Mission Impossible 3.
I agree. Yeah. It tied back to 3. It tied back to 1. It brought in that random like scientist guy. That when he's parachuting or
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
zip or what's it called, like lowering down into that classic Mission Impossible scene, like the guy that's at the computer, they brought him back for some reason. I thought that was really good, like way to tie it together.
I do feel like it's a little long,
That's
but I feel
that's
like
true.
it flows pretty well. But yeah,
And I think it was like it had like good heart behind it. It didn't seem like it was like
Yeah.
corporate or whatever. Like I had fun watching it. It was a good movie,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay, now we'll do Superman next.
Superman.
How do you feel about Superman?
Superman. I feel a certain kind of way about this movie because I went into it with like sky high hopes and expectations because like, okay, so a little background on me and Superman. I did not really like Superman until recently because I was like, this guy's like, he's overpowered. like nothing can hurt him. Like why why do I care about this guy? Like he's perfect. Then I kind of realized like that's like the point, right? Is it's like we watch Superman because we want to be like Superman, right? Just like I like Captain America, or like these guys that are so flawless. It's like I watch that because that's an ideal of what I want to be like, right? Even though I know I'll never be invincible and really strong and like really awesome and always kind and whatever. It's like I look to that and I'm like, that's what I want to be. As Jesus works through me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. So I had this idea of going into Superman, and I still do that. He's going to be this emblem of like hope and like optimism, and he's going to, you know, be the hero that saves the day. I think he was, and I think so. This movie kind of got me feeling a kind of way. I'm kind of divided on it because I really do like a lot of the things that it does. I really like David Cornsweet as Superman. I think he nailed it. I think him is like a hopeful kind of guy. Like I really did like that. I think the acting's really good. I think the whatever's kind of good. I just feel like it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Like I feel like it didn't focus enough on Superman being hopeful. And I feel like it also didn't focus enough on, this is my controversial take, it didn't focus enough on Superman winning, right? Like I came into this movie with such like, I was already on Superman's side. You didn't have to convince me that he was good or that he was hopeful. And it's like, all I wanted to see him do was save the day and save all the little kids that are like in danger and like stop the nuclear war that's about to happen because he's Superman, right? Like I came to this movie to watch Superman win because he's good, right? And because I believe that even though I don't always see it, good wins, right? And I'm like, okay, so now I need Superman to win because he's good. This is my mindset. And I feel like, again, spoilers, I don't know why you'd still be listening if you care about how this movie is, but like Superman doesn't, he gets kind of his butt handed to him every time he's in a fight in this movie. Until the very end, he beats up a couple like grunt level enemies, which is good, right? The ending's good, whatever, he saves the day in the end, but it's like, I just feel like he was kind of like flimsy, kind of like a weak Superman, which I understand what they're going for.
I think, okay.
Yeah, what's your take?
I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I think, okay, for a couple things, I think you have to realize kind of the context it's coming at and the idea that it's the setup of a new universe. And I think for one, I think if you start out a universe with Superman being OP and him even like being like super strong is like, where do you go from there? And I think that's an idea of power scaling. But I think the whole movie is about his hope and the idea of like, he has this dialogue with Lois Lane about how hope is new punk rock and how he doesn't have to follow all these political things, but he just wants to save people, right? So that starts out the beginning, right? And we see how he's hopeful. And then a kaiju comes, and Lex Luthor knows who Superman is, and so he sends it into a city where he's going to attack people. And so he goes and he you can see he literally saves a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like straight,
that was good.
That's hope.
I know, I agree. I think it did have good moments.
Fast forward. He's still trying to fight people, right? And then he turns himself in because he doesn't want like people to get hurt, right? And then he goes into this place and like whatever, the kryptonite, he's getting beat, whatever. And then finally he convinces Metamorpho to like whatever help him. And then he breaks him out. He saves his kid. Okay, he saves him. They get out. And then as it goes on, whatever, Lex then like blows up the world or whatever. It's like splitting, right? And then at that point, he like stops a whole building from crashing and saves the lady. And I just feel like the whole movie is about his hope. And like the conversation he has with Lex at the end is so good.
Yeah.
About what it means to be human. And he's like, I fall, I love, I do all this stuff. And it's like, I just think it's so centered around hope. And I think the fact that he loses is like, it almost shows this hope more so. Like I feel like the thing that you're pointing to and the idea of this kid raising up this flag and that it's Superman, like Superman isn't the one that has to do it. The whole movie is setting up this idea of how he's not only a hero himself, but he's creating a culture of heroes. Like if we see the development of the Justice Gang, the start of the movie, they're not willing to help. They're not willing to save these people. But it's Superman's hope and his persistence and his actual willingness to be hope that then evokes them to go and save that little kid. And so it's the symbol of Superman that saves these kids and these people in this foreign land. Like I don't think it has to specifically be Superman. And it's the whole idea of this like symbolic idea of like you said, like Superman is a symbol of hope. And like this idea of like he was a literal symbol of hope in the universe that he lives in.
Yeah.
He's the one that like gets the Justice Gang to actually react and go out of their way to save these people, even though it might not be legal or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's just like, I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think they could have done a little bit better. They could have developed his parents. I think if they developed his parents more, I think
Yeah.
it would have been so good.
That's the other thing that was kind of standing out to me is like they try to have these like touching emotional scenes with his parents, and they like it worked. I was like, oh, like his dad's like. So basically, Superman, he's not from Earth, right? He's from Krypton. He has other parents, and he gets adopted by these Earth parents. And his Krypton parents send him to Earth. Apparently, this movie tells us to like take it over, right? To conquer the world, to be whatever. But then we see that because his Earth parents like poured into him and loved him and taught him to be like a good guy, right? That he's used his powers for that. So he comes to this realization that he's like, I'm sent here to conquer everything, right? That was my purpose. That's what my mission was. But like, I don't want to because I've been raised to do good. And that's so like, all I want to do is help people. And I was like, that's so good. Cause it's like, he had the choice in that moment. You know, he could have snapped and he could have gone and whatever, and he could have tried to conquer the world because he was so powerful. But it's like the fact that he used his power for good. I thought that was really touching. But they spend like 2 seconds on that, and then it's right back to like all this other like I feel like the script kind of goes a million different directions, and you watch the Justice Gang do all their stuff for a while, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like you said, it's definitely not a perfect movie.
I think that's kind of where I run into the problem. I think that's why it's not perfect. I think it does go in a lot of different directions, and I think that's because it's the start of a universe. I think if this was a standalone Superman movie, I think it would have been, like, you could have done so much more with it.
Yeah.
But because it's establishing the Justice Gang and in this expanding world, it has to do so much more.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, maybe a Superman 2, like, I think that could actually be peak.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited for where this universe is going, though.
Yeah.
And I think even more, like, what this movie did for, like, the entire culture, I think, is, like,
definitely.
like, this idea of hope maxing and how hope is the new punk rock.
Yeah.
And, like, I saw these stats, and it was like, okay, maybe Superman didn't make, like, a crazy amount of money at the box office, but dog adoption's up. Like a bunch of different stats of, like, how just, like, being kind is, like people are thinking about it more than ever.
Yeah.
And I think the movie did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that has been actually really encouraging. Although, like, you go on Instagram, you go on, like, wherever, it's like, yeah, I was, like, you know, having a crappy day, and then I helped the old lady across the street because I thought that's what Superman would do. So I did it. And I was like, that's so, like, obviously, Jesus needs to be our example, right?
Yeah.
We need to be kind, and we need to love people in a Christ-like way because that's what Jesus has called us to. But
Yeah.
for people who don't have that, right? Like, to look to Superman and be like, I want to be kind because Superman's kind. I think that's a net positive for society, definitely.
Yeah. And I think, like, the origination of Superman, like, he was a Christian figure.
Yeah.
And same with Captain America, too.
Yeah,
Like, he's somebody who followed Christ. But, I mean, obviously, in common culture, it's kind of pulled away from that.
Right.
But, like, of course, our hope should come from Jesus.
Absolutely.
But I think it is encouraging, and it's entertaining, and it's kind of refreshing.
No, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a Superman fan still. I want to see that movie do good. I'm really, like, happy that it's changed culture so much. And I definitely would go watch a sequel. Like, this movie sold me on Superman. But it just wasn't quite there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, and then the third movie we saw this summer, we went and saw Fantastic Four together. What are your thoughts?
Fantastic Four. What do I think? I think it was pretty good. That's what I say. I don't think it was, like, excellent. At least not in terms of, like, MCU. Because there's been some, like, excellent Marvel movies, I feel like. And this is decent. I think that, I don't know. I think what I liked about it is that it's, like, kind of like a return to form in the sense of, like, it's not super formulaic and it's super different from, like, other Marvel stuff. It's in its own, like, little universe, its own, like, kind of pocket dimension, whatever. Like, alternate timeline nonsense. So it's, like, it's not connected to all the other stuff, really. So it kind of gives it, like, a chance to be its own thing. And I thought that was really good. And I thought the acting was good. And each kind of character kind of, like, They had arcs. They had stuff to do for the
Mhm.
most part.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was good. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I enjoyed it. I would say I liked it more than Superman. I think there were some scenes that were amazing. For me, I didn't love the beginning. Like I didn't love the beginning part. I was like, okay, I understand what they're doing. And what I've heard from other people is that they love the beginning. I think the beginning's a little bit slow. And I think once they go into space, I think that's when
Yeah.
it kicks into high gear and like
Mhm.
it's freaking sweet from there. Like I think I don't love the ending either.
Yeah, the ending's kind of. I feel it felt kind of like cheap,
Mhm.
like power, friendship solves everything kind of ending. Where it's
Yeah.
not like,
And then it
yeah,
was like, why would you kill her just to bring her back immediately?
yeah,
It's like that's kind
yeah,
of dumb.
yeah, yeah.
But no, I liked it a lot. I think I'm really excited to see these characters like, back again.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have done more. I wish they would have done more with the Thing.
Yeah,
And
I
for
agree.
me personally, I don't love Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
I would agree. I think he was an interesting choice. I don't think he was terrible. I think he was like a fine Reed Richards, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't buy him as socially awkward.
yeah, that's true. He's too
Like,
suave.
Reed Richards is like so like socially awkward and just like straight a genius, and I don't buy that from Reed Richards.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't buy that from Pedro Pascal.
Mhm.
But I think Human Torch was amazing. I think
Yep.
Invisible Woman, she was good. I think that the Thing was underutilized.
I agree. That's about exactly what I would say.
And yeah,
Yeah. So those are the movies. How would you rank them? 1, 2, 3. What are you thinking?
I would go Fantastic Four, Superman, Mission Impossible.
That's fair. I think I would have to go. I think I go Fantastic Four, Mission Impossible, Superman. Which again, it sounds like I'm hating on this movie. I really didn't like hate it. Just I wanted more from
I
it.
think you have to rewatch it.
I know I would totally be down to rewatch it. I feel like
I think you have to rewatch Dune 2 as well.
we don't got to get into this again. But
Remember
yeah,
when
I
you
should.
rewatched La La Land and then you actually liked it?
That's true. That is true. That did happen. I'm not against liking Superman. I just didn't like Superman. Yeah.
Well, that's about it for our first episode back.
Yep. Real exciting stuff. Thanks for tuning in, guys. After a long hiatus, got to listen to us yap about a bunch of nonsense for like an hour. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
You got to say the thing.
What thing? Oh yeah. That's all. Thanks for listening. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Thanks for listening. There it is.
Classic.